Hello once again. I'm scientist John Morris Pendleton, and we're now beginning a series of 3 exciting conferences about dinosaurs. Conferences 10, 11, and 12. Now before we get started, if you're viewing this in your home or if you're in a Sunday school class or in a class situation, if there's more than one of you there, I'd like you to do me a favor. Let's just take a few moments. I'm going to ask you about some 15 different questions. And if you're more or less agreed, would you raise your hand? In fact, how many of you have a right hand? Oh, good. Just about everybody. All right. So if you're agreed with the statements I'm going to read here, you just raise your hand, and amongst your group or family setting there or class, you'll kind of just get to know one another what you think. Okay? First of all, how many of you believe that dinosaurs did not ever exist? How many believe that, yes, dinosaurs did exist? How many believe that dinosaurs are extinct? Okay, there are several on that one. How many of you believe that dinosaurs became extinct about 65 million years ago? Okay, we got some people on that one. How many believe that dinosaurs are good evidence for evolution? Okay, there's some hands. How many believe that dinosaurs are evidence for creation? How many of you do not understand the questions? Okay. How many believe that humans did not live at the same time with dinosaurs? Man and dinosaurs didn't live together. Okay. How many believe that humans did live at the same time with dinosaurs? Okay. How many believe that dinosaurs are from the devil? Now, you might laugh at that one, but I want you to know I got run out of a church in West Texas for talking about dinosaurs. When the pastor heard I was talking about dinosaurs, no, we don't believe in dinosaurs here. And even though everybody in the church had gone to see Jurassic Park and all that, he shut me down and canceled the meeting. So there are people that don't believe in dinosaurs. How many believe that the Bible does not talk about dinosaurs? Obviously the word dinosaurs in the Bible, but maybe there's some other words talk about dinosaurs. How many believe that Noah did not take dinosaurs with him on the ark? Wouldn't fit, right? How many believe there are no dinosaurs alive today? How many don't know what they believe? How many are ready to receive very many interesting surprises? Wow, dinosaurs. Going to have a fun time. You know, when I started out these conferences back in 1992 and my first TV recordings in 97, I had very little about dinosaurs. But thank you to my public appearances and question and answer periods, the many questions my audience has made has helped me to increase. They've in a good way forced me to do more study to answer so many questions that people have, and we have wonderful, powerful answers. Now, not only am I a chemist and a scientist, I'm also a magician. And I've got a little trick for you. That was not the trick. This trick has a purpose to it. First of all, I'll impress you with the trick and tell you how to do it so you can impress your friends that aren't seeing this today. But the point of this trick is to learn an important lesson in life. Many times in life we receive or don't receive new information based on our previous experiences, and that's basically normal. But many times there's going to come new information thoroughly different from what we're used to hearing, what we come to believe that is really the right answer, is helpful information. And if you don't have an open mind to receive new beneficial information, you're going to lose out on a lot. Now, in the case of this balloon and this sewing needle, we have the custom that the two don't mix. The balloon is going to burst if I stick the pin into the balloon. But I know how to put the pin into the balloon so it won't burst. Now, I do have a few more balloons here in my bag in case this doesn't work. What you do is you blow a balloon up, but not too much. You find the part of the balloon where the rubber is least stretched. With clean hands, you put some saliva on there, and the needle goes in. Now you take the other end of the balloon, where the knot is, put some saliva there for lubricant, Pull the needle out, and goes in on that end. Now I have a third way. Now, I've only tried this a couple times, so I might fail, but at least I got it right twice. We get some masking tape, and masking tape is better than regular plastic tape, it seems, because it's kind of paper-based. On the side of the balloon, you stick one of the pieces of tape, and then you put the other one across it, making like a T or a cross. We pull the needle out and go right in the middle, and again, it doesn't burst. But it is a real balloon, as you can see. Now, what for most of you was impossible to do, I did it 3 different ways without bursting the balloon until the end. Now, I'm going to share a number of things about dinosaurs that you are already convinced that you think you know all of the facts. I'm going to bring forth evidence and information very different, but it's going to be helpful. It's going to be beneficial. Dinosaurs, so many questions about them, such mysteries. For me, I see dinosaurs every place. For example, here's 2 of them fighting on the cover of a boys' magazine. The Sinclair company, their logo is a dinosaur. Went to the store and bought a Hershey's chocolate bar. On the cover, all kinds of dinosaurs. A couple years ago, I was in the United States, went to the post office to buy some postal stamps. They gave me a whole sheet full of dinosaur stamps. A bit ago, I was in Panama, Central America, giving conferences about creation, evolution, dinosaurs, and guess what? Down there, they're eating chicken nougat-sarios. Then I went to my hometown of Zacatecas, went to a supermarket there, and Campbell's has even come out with a form of dinosaur soup. So like I say, dinosaurs are every place. Well, let's go to the beginning. When was the beginning of studies done about dinosaurs? I'd like to put the date of 1822 in England. A medical doctor, Gideon Mantell, went to the house of one of his patients. His wife, Mary, stayed outside waiting for him, and as she looked on the ground, she saw this giant fossilized tooth. And so she picked it up and gave it to her husband, who had a collection of fossils. Fossils, as we mentioned, are something that used to live before. Now it's stayed in a form, petrified or rock form. Well, Dr. Mantell was impressed with this tooth that she had found and thought this was something really different. Now, Dr. Mantell was a Christian, or as a scientist who was a creation scientist, much as I am. Now, what is a creation scientist? We are scientists that the first principle we work on is we believe in the creation of God, the creation by God, and we can study it to see the many different ways that that creation operates in its many different aspects. Well, Dr. Mantell and other creation scientists in a period of almost 20 years located and dug up some 9 different types of dinosaurs. It was in 1841 that the director of the British Museum in London, Sir Richard Owen, made the name dinosaur. He looked at these bones that were so big, but so very similar to reptiles. He said it was, in fact, almost like a crocodile or a lizard. And so he made the name dinosaur. That's 2 Latin words. It means terrible lizard. That's where the name came from. Mind you, by the way, when you talk about dinosaurs to your friends, say, do you know who made the name dinosaur? It was a creation scientist, a scientist who believed in the creation of God. Since then, many different other names have been made for specific dinosaurs. We have the Iguanodon, the Diplodocus, Brachiosaurus, and of course the famous Tyrannosaurus. You'll also want to remember this dinosaur is the plesiosaur. We'll be talking more about him further on. Now, all over the world, dinosaur remains have been found in all the different continents, in mountains and valleys, oceans, rivers, lakes, deserts. Here in Mexico, from the city of Saltillo, 20 minutes away, they found all kinds of dinosaur remains, dinosaur eggs, fossilized in bones. In Alaska, way up in the north, they've found dinosaur remains. In Argentina, all different kinds of, yes, dinosaurs did exist. And we find the remains all over the world. Here's some of the fossilized clues of dinosaurs. We have a number of dinosaur footprints that are, it was in stone. We have dinosaur nests with a number of eggs together. Here's an impression of dinosaur skin. Here's a dinosaur claw. And here's a fossilized, well, that other thing of dinosaurs. In Colorado, here we can see 5 different dinosaur paths of dinosaur footprints. That's impressive. Now, if in your family you have a young child, a boy or girl, the time when it's bath time, they cry and fall down and kick their feet and just have a tantrum, we've got a real novel idea to make bath time a whole lot more fun. Just go find a dinosaur footprint about this big, put some water in it, and they can have a fun time taking a bath in a dinosaur footprint. Wow! Can you imagine how big that dinosaur must have been to leave a footprint that big in stone? By the way, how much would a dinosaur have to weigh to leave a footprint that big in stone? Well, I'll give you a clue. When he stepped in there, it wasn't stone. It was mud or dirt. Later it became petrified and that footprint was preserved. But imagine how big that dinosaur must have been. Here's a dinosaur leg. If this man's about 6 feet tall, it was about 18 feet up to that dinosaur's hip. What a huge animal. Here we have in the studio a copy, a replica of a dinosaur claw. This is the largest claw they ever found. It measures about 56 centimeters long, and they found just the claw and the arm, nothing more than that. They gave it the name the dinosaur of the sai. Do you know what a sai is? It's a curved blade that people use in the fields to cut grains and grasses. That's what it reminded them of. Here's a Tyrannosaurus head. It measures about 5 feet long. If you fit in one of those little compact cars, you'd fit okay in this guy's mouth. Now, possibly the largest dinosaur ever put on display would be this one in Atlanta, Georgia. From the tip of his nose until the end of his tail, he measures some 100 feet long. They estimate that he weighed about 100 tons. If you get one of those little mini compact cars that weigh about a ton, one animal, one dinosaur weighed 100 cars. Incredible. Now, not all of the dinosaurs were big. Some were small, like this one, which is the size of a chicken. You know what that means, don't you? That if dinosaurs still lived today, not only would we have Kentucky Fried Chicken, we could have Kentucky Fried Dinosaur. Small, medium, and large size. Now, dinosaurs were born from eggs. That's how they were born, because they were part of the reptile family. Here I have in the studio a genuine plastic dinosaur egg. They were born out of eggs about this size. The biggest dinosaur eggs they found are about the size of an American football. But this is what dinosaurs were born from, was from eggs. Now, the thing I'm going to share with you next is some very important information about dinosaurs that you need to pay very close attention, because it answers all kinds of questions, clears up a whole bunch of doubts. First of all, we're comparing dinosaurs with other reptiles. For example, a crocodile. The dinosaur had its body on top of its legs, and when it would walk straight ahead, much as does a cow. Whereas a crocodile or alligator, their arms or legs come out from the side of their body, and when they walk, they waddle from side to side. Those are two major differences between dinosaurs and other reptiles. But of all the creatures that God has ever made, reptiles are amongst the few that never stop growing. The longer they live, the bigger they get. Now, what is our authority? Have you remembered? It's the Word of God. We base all of our thoughts, all of our thinking is based on what God says in His Word. And what does He say? Well, before the flood, people lived an average of 912 years. That's an average. Those are years just like the number of years I have, the number of years you have. Years were exactly the same. There was a special condition. In fact, we have a number of fossils of known insects and other animals that we know today, but back then they were much, much bigger. For example, we have the dragonflies, which today measure about 4 inches across their wingspan. Back then we have fossils of dragonflies that measured 6 feet. Can you imagine one of those hitting the windshield of your car? Come right inside with you. A tortoise, 14 feet in diameter. Wouldn't even fit here in our studio. It's not that big in here. A rhinoceros, 17 feet up to its shoulder. Anybody see the movie Jaws? We'd use that shark for bait for this one. Shark, 80 feet long. A beaver, 8 feet tall, the size of a bear. A centipede, 6 feet. Oh, okay, what a horror. Grasshoppers, 24 inches long. And I'm sorry, ladies, girls, but we had cockroaches that measured 18 inches. Oh, you're not going to kill them with your shoe. You're going to kill them with a shotgun. Everything grew bigger, lived longer before the flood. The question is, why? Let's go to our authority. Let's go to the Word of God. In Genesis chapter 1, it says, "And God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. And there's 2 bodies of water. And God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so. And God called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day." And so from this information in the Bible, we get this kind of a picture of the early earth. It was like inside a giant bubble of waters above the earth. This served for a number of purposes. One, it worked as a shield against the harmful radiation from the sun. Ultraviolet radiation, X-rays, cosmic rays. It increased the Earth's atmosphere, probably more than double atmospheric pressure. It made the Earth like inside of a giant greenhouse. The polar regions, as well as the equator, had almost the same temperature. Also, we find from samples of amber, that's fossilized tree sap, you remember that from the movie Jurassic Park, we find air bubbles that test out with 35% oxygen. Now, oxygen is one of the naturally occurring elements that is one of the best antibodies that we have. They use it to purify water. You bubble oxygen through anything and it tends to purify it. And so just everything would live longer, grow bigger, and just be a much more fruitful earth. Now let's try another little bit of a test. Tyrannosaurus rex had teeth that were almost 6 inches long. How would this dinosaur have been described originally? Now, how many of you say as a herbivorous, ate herbs? Carnivorous, eats meat. They would eat dead meat, like I do. Cow's dead, pig's dead, fish is dead, chicken's dead. Or was herbivorous and carnivorous? How many of you did not raise your hand? Okay, that's not fair. This is the big question. What did the dinosaurs eat? Now, some people say, well, John, just look at his mouth, that huge mouth. Look at all those big teeth. It's obvious that he ate flesh, meat. Here we have 6 different teeth patterns of 6 different bats. Can you tell me which of these bats eats flower pollen? Which one eats small mammals? Which one eats fish? Which one just drinks blood? Which one eats fruit? Can you tell? Insects. Can you tell by the shape of their teeth? Of course not. In fact, we have a bear today that has extremely sharp and strong teeth. Do you know what he eats? Meat? Wrong. The panda bear eats 99% bamboo. You'd need sharp, strong teeth to eat bamboo. And by the way, by teeth formation, what does this guy eat? Can you tell? He doesn't even eat bananas. He eats all leaves. You'd never know that by the formation of his teeth. That's why you need to study it. Now, Tyrannosaurus rex had teeth. They were about 6 inches long. They were long, sharp, pointed. What can we know for certain about that? We can know for certain he had long, sharp, pointed teeth, nothing else. Now, the thing is, we have to be good scientists. He also had very short roots, less than 1 inch deep. What would happen if he would give a bite to a dinosaur with thick, tough hide? He'd end up like your grandmother. His teeth would pull right out. What dinosaur is he going to hold with these little bitty forearms that he's got? Nobody. Now, what was the question? Originally, how was this dinosaur described? In Genesis 1:30 it says, God says, "And to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creeps upon the earth, in which is life, I have given every green herb for food," and it was so. Originally, he was herbivorous. It wasn't until after the flood, as we'll see, that he became carnivorous. And of course, here you can see a melon would fit quite nicely in a Tyrannosaurus rex mouth. And look at the great variety of fruits and vegetation and vegetables that God made. A great variety of different tastes and different nutrition to have a great variety of food. There was just so much to enjoy without even eating meat. Now some will say, well, John, I'm not so sure about that. What about maybe the dinosaurs? Okay, what about the big cats, tigers, lions? They have to eat meat. Oh, really? Well, you've never heard about this story I want to tell you. There was a zoo that had a female lion. And on 2 occasions when she gave birth to her cubs, she killed them. So on the 3rd occasion, the park guards were ready to rescue those little baby lions. Well, unfortunately, she killed the first 3 and hurt the 4th one. The 4th one was donated to a couple to take care of. And they made a little blanket with a light bulb for heat, and that little lion had a bowl of milk and some raw eggs and cooked vegetables, cooked oats, and some ground beef. Well, the little lion would eat of everything except the ground beef. Began to heal, grew bigger, but would not eat meat. They were really worried. They put announcements on the TV or on the radio and newspaper. We have a young female lion and she won't eat meat. What can we do? There were all kinds of ideas and suggestions. For me, the best one was this. In the bowl of milk, put 1 drop of beef blood. She'll drink the milk with the blood, get used to that, and eventually she'll eat meat. Great idea. Guess what? With just 1 drop of blood in the milk, she would not drink the milk. Here she is. Here's a picture of this lion drinking milk with the lamb. Didn't eat the lamb. Here's the lion with some little chicks. Didn't eat the chicks. Here she is riding in the convertible with the family. Praise God, she didn't eat the family. Here she is in a meat market with a big chunk of meat in the face. Oh, smells terrible. Get that out of here. Don't like it. Lived 20 years, never ate meat. And it shouldn't be a surprise, because God in his word says that one day the lion shall lie down with the lamb. He also says in Isaiah, the lion shall eat straw, as does the bullock. Isaiah 65:25. And so it perfectly fits with what God says in his word. Now, if dinosaurs were still alive, you could have a pet dinosaur. Only problem is they keep on growing and wouldn't fit in your bedroom. We could also go riding, not only on donkeys and horses, but also on dinosaurs. Now, there's a display in the Cincinnati Zoo bird exhibit that says dinosaurs went extinct millions of years ago. Or did they? No, birds are essentially modern, short-tailed, feathered dinosaurs. What are they doing? They are brainwashing us. Now, in 1998, National Geographic published this edition. Their lead story was Dinosaurs Take Wing, the Origin of Birds. Now, this picture on the cover is good artwork, but it is not science. Inside we have here the evolution of a wing. Anybody seen that? No. It's just good drawing. It is not science. And of the many things in there, it was all based on this fossil that was exported illegally from China. They say the bottom part looks like a reptile or dinosaur. The top part looks like the beginning of wings and proto-feathers. And so it was all based on one fossil. As they did a little bit further study after publishing their magazine, they found out that it was neither a bird or a dinosaur. Rather, it was a fraudosaurus. It was a big fraud. Some very clever Chinese had found two different fossils and just put them together. One that kind of looked like a reptile or a dinosaur. The other one looked kind of like a bird. And they sold it to some dumb gringos. And it was published worldwide through National Geographic, not only in English, but in Spanish and other languages. I was able to purchase their repentant article, in which the National Geographic says, "This small skeleton signified in its moment the longed-after key to the mystery that encloses evolution." What was it? It was a vile fraud. It wasn't really anything at all. And you know, this comes from a coloring book for children that says that dinosaurs lived millions of years ago. You know, all the fossils we have of dinosaurs are 100% dinosaur. There is not a single fossil that shows some animal becoming a dinosaur or a dinosaur changing into some other animal. Dinosaurs prove the creation and the creator. God bless you, and we'll see you soon.